Hello, my friends. It's good to see you again, my Troy Hills Tigers. Today I have Reading Rat Scabbards mellowing out in the background, and we're continuing Space Week. I thought I would pull a longer Space Week read for some of my friends, and so I'm sharing today Margaret and the Moon, how Margaret Hamilton saved the first lunar landing. It is a biography, picture book biography. This was written by Dean Robbins, illustrated by Lucy Nisley. She gazed at the night sky in wonder. That just sums Margaret up, always wondering, as you'll find out soon. Margaret Hamilton always had questions about bugs, about baseball, about the stars in the sky. She wanted answers, so she sought them out herself. Margaret's curiosity extended from the intricate logic of mathematics to the farthest reaches of the galaxy and eventually led her to NASA. And there she wrote the code for computer commands on the Apollo missions. A pioneer in her field, Margaret proves that nothing can stop you from finding the answers you seek. There's Margaret in her house, wondering about the stars. Margaret Hamilton loved to solve problems. She came up with ideas no one had ever thought of before. So she thought outside the box quite a bit. Why are there only daddy long legs? Margaret had a solution. She would call some of them mommy long legs too. Why didn't girls play baseball? Margaret had a solution. She would join the team herself. Why didn't more girls grow up to be doctors or scientists or anything else they wanted? Margaret had a solution. She would study hard in every subject at school. Wow, Margaret, that's a big, tall order. Reading, music, art, and especially mathematics, she learned as much as she could about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Margaret's father was a poet and philosopher who talked to her about the universe. She asked about how the planets moved, when the galaxies formed, why the stars shone. It's hard to see, but there's some beautiful pictures, and in very light writing it explains the names of the different constellations. If I can find a link in Epic, and I think I probably can, I'll put it in the comments. I'll attach it to this read aloud. She gazed at the night sky in wonder. Again, seeing all these beautiful constellations and the moon. Oh, Margaret. How many miles to the moon? 238,855. How many miles does it travel around the Earth? 1,423,000. How fast does it go? 2,288 miles per hour. How big around is it? 6,783 miles. Margaret began solving harder and harder math problems. It was fun working her way through the steps. Wow, I don't think I ever felt like that about math, but I think I might now, thanks to Margaret. She liked moving around X's and Y's in algebra. She liked measuring circles and triangles in geometry. She liked studying curves in calculus. And then she discovered computers. Oh boy. Back then the computers were as big as the room. Margaret could use this new invention to answer so many questions about the universe. She experimented with writing instructions or code that told the machine what to do. The code was called software, and Margaret called herself a software engineer. She started with something simple, asking the computer to add and subtract, multiply and divide. Margaret taught herself to write code that performed more and more complicated tasks. She programmed computers to track airplanes through the clouds, and even to predict the weather. She made them do things they had never done before. Oh, Margaret, wow. All because she thought differently. In 1964, Margaret got interested in an exciting project for NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Their scientists were working on the hardest problem humans had ever tried to solve, flying people to the moon. Could Margaret use computers to get the astronauts 238,855 miles there and 238,855 miles back? She convinced NASA's leaders to let her try. Look at all that math. Margaret thought of everything that could happen on a trip to the moon. Would the spacecraft go off course? Would it lose power? Would an astronaut make a mistake? Margaret wrote code to tell the computers how to solve these problems. She worked her way through the steps, just as she used to do in math class. This is amazing. You can get really close here and see her very own code and her markings, her notes. Soon Margaret became director of software, programming for NASA's Project Apollo, leading dozens of scientists. She helped Apollo 8 orbit the moon 10 times. She helped Apollo 9 connect 2 ships in space. She helped Apollo 10 to get within 9 miles of the moon's surface. Hello there. Getting closer, getting closer. With Apollo 11, NASA would finally try to put people on the moon. Had Margaret thought of everything that could go wrong with the lunar landing? She checked her code again to make sure. That is a lot of code. The astronauts are depending on her. That stack that's about as tall as Margaret is her code, her computer programming. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Apollo 11 rose with a blast of smoke and fire. Margaret followed along from a control room, and the whole world watched on television. I love in the illustration how they are all animated. They look like cartoons or graphic novels, but inside the television is an actual photograph from history. For 4 days, the spacecraft drew nearer to the moon. The lunar module named the Eagle split off to make the landing. Yippee! But within minutes left to go, an astronaut entered a command and the master alarm buzzed. Flip! Whoops! The Eagle's computer started performing too many tasks. Overload, overload. Yikes! Oh, goodness. How are they ever going to solve this problem? The control room panicked. The moon landing was in danger. Everyone looked at Margaret. Had she prepared for this problem? Of course she had. Margaret's code made the computer ignore the extra tasks and focus on the landing. It brought the Eagle closer to the moon's surface. Closer, closer. Touchdown! Perfect. She did it. The Eagle has landed, announced astronaut Neil Armstrong. The control room cheered. Margaret was a hero. Later that night, the Eagle's hatch opened. Margaret held her breath. Armstrong took the first step on the moon. The whole world celebrated in front of their televisions. Hurrah! 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 Hooray! Hurrah! Hurrah! Valio! Hurrah! So much celebration in so many different languages. Margaret walked outside smiling. Her code had helped the astronauts get to the moon, and she knew it would help them get home safely. As always, she glanced at the night sky in wonder. In the author's note, they talk about how Margaret wondered why girls and boys were not treated the same. She wondered about a lot of things of, like, why is the universe there? What's the meaning of life? So she always had deep questions, and her father helped her to answer them. I hope you will enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed the story, and I hope maybe you'll go and you'll learn more about Margaret. You can find some of her information in World Book. I'll have to look and see if I can find more resources for you and put them in that choice board for Space Week. Margaret in her costume. That's the actual photograph of Margaret with her tall code. Margaret at MIT in college. Margaret in the Apollo command module. Why not, right? If she's going to help fly it, she should be in the picture. And I hope you enjoyed that story of Margaret and the Moon, a true story. Signing off for now. Take good care, my friends. Goodbye.